Okay, guys, we're back. FSD Supervised 12.3.5, which after hearing the earnings call, Elon says should be actually be version 14, which is very interesting. So he claims that it's a bigger change from 12.3.4 to 12.3.5 than is expressed just through the point release. So we're going to take it out for a spin, a little bit of a longer drive. I know you guys have been asking for longer drives. So we'll do a longer drive. Some more dense urban areas similar to New York City, but not quite New York City, and some highway as well. So let's do it now. Good job holding the lines of this curve, keeping a good distance here for the curves. We've been seeing a lot of that with 12.3.5 and some of the drives we've been doing off camera, where it keeps that good distance. That's the level of confidence that we need to see. Well, that's the behavior that gives us the level of confidence that we need to see. Okay. Pretty steep intersection here. Bus coming, person going. We have the right of way, we can go. Good job going. Excellent job on these turns. This is another sort of unprotected left down the street from our typical unprotected left here on our regression test path. So good job there. Good acceleration for auto offset, getting up to speed of about 10 miles an hour over. Not terrible. Once we get to the more denser areas, I'm sure it'll slow down accordingly. But this is like wide open right here, so it's a good flow of traffic, and the bus is also going about 10 miles an hour over because we're not gaining on it either. So that's a good indicator. Slows down nicely for the bus. Thinks about making the maneuver, waits, and does the safer thing, which is wait for the bus or wait for the cars opening here to come through. So that's a great, great job. It thought about it for a minute, and sometimes it thinks with the yoke or the wheel. No need to overreact in those scenarios, but definitely, what it commits to do is the thing that's important, and it committed to staying put, seeing if there was an opening or waiting for the bus to move, which is a safer course of action. Good job. See what it does here. Stays put. People behind me would probably tend to go around, especially on the double yellow line, which is not the thing you're supposed to do. So good job there. And it wasn't supposed to do it before either, but it seemed like it was at least looking to make that maneuver if necessary, if that bus was, permanently put to the side. Staging the lane at a good enough distance. It's a great job here. Staging early as opposed to late. This is a similar path to our regression path, so we know what it does here, pretty much. And this, once we get on the highway, if things get a little bit mundane, I'll start to fast forward a bit just to speed up the video. I don't want to have you guys tied up for 30-something minutes if you don't have to be. I'll also put some chapters for major parts of it, urban, highway, back to dense urban traffic, etc. So that can help you guys navigate the videos. Okay, it needs to be in this lane, which is the right lane to be in, to go straight, because otherwise it merges. So either one is okay. Sometimes it goes that way, depending on the situation. This time it's just here. For those that are wondering, I have the average profile, not assertive. So it just keeps a larger follow distance, which is what I want as we start to test these. And as we get more confident and more comfortable on camera, we'll start to use assertive. I use assertive personally when I'm not on camera, but I drive a little bit differently. Pretty bad roads here. Just finished doing, construction for gas pipes around this areas. So the roads are pretty bad. Now, unlike the right turn that we make, this is our final turn on our regression test path. It stages the right side of the lane. This time it's staging the left side because it needs to go straight, which is great behavior. Sometimes cars will try to sneak around other cars and try to get the jump on them on the light. Doesn't seem like FSD does that. A little more friction brake than I would prefer. I think we still have the issue where it's leaning heavily on the friction brakes. Good job going around. It's a minor thing, but it also plays into comfort and potentially safety, depending on the road conditions. If the road is slippery and it tries to apply the friction brakes too hard, it could slip, things like that. So definitely something to note. That was a nice and smooth one. Looks like they paved a little portion of this road. Wish they could pave them all. Good job keeping his distance from the pedestrian, even though it needs to stage this lane, then gets around. Excellent job around pedestrians as normal. Here's a good test. This is a pretty sharp turn here. Proximity for the curb. Pretty good. It's tight, so it has to be kind of close. So that was pretty good. Didn't overreact and go way close. But so far, so good. I don't want to jinx it. So far, so good with the curbs and the proximity for us in this area. Good job avoiding those signs too. I know version 11 had an issue where it was kind of and version 10, where it kind of got a little too close to those signs at times, specifically where the mirrors are, and that gave me some issue. Harder on the friction brakes here, a little harder braking situation than it was necessary. Again, not safety critical right now, but hopefully they can fix that and blend some more of the regen braking in. The van's trying to cut across the double yellow and the whole signage there, which is not the right thing to do, especially with a police officer right there. The car waited its turn until there was an opening. And because these cars are moving so slow, we missed our opportunity. And now we have to wait for all these cars. Let's see what type of gap FSD will look to shoot to make this turn. It's really clear right past that last blue van, but cars are fastly approaching behind it, so who knows? Let's see. It's been pretty good finding the good gap to go. Hopefully those turning cars can block us, and we'll go. Great job. Now, the reason why I went this path and the reason why I started a little bit earlier than I probably should have, which could have been like a 20-minute drive instead of a 30-minute drive, was because I wanted to test the highway merge scenario. This is the same highway merge scenario that we tested at 11.3.3, where the car kind of just jumped out there on a merge scenario and waited for cars to pass and then merge, versus waiting for the right opening in the gap for high-speed moving cars. And I'm not sure if that was the combination or the sort of the switching of version 11, which highway still is, to version 12, or from version 12 to version 11 since it's highway, or not, but it was not the most comfortable scenario. So I'm hoping this kind of solves it, even though I know that, or it appears, I'm not saying I know, it appears that highway is still on version 11. So we'll see if it handles it a little bit differently now. It's a very sharp angle to be able to see cars coming, to be able to merge into that highway. So interested to see if it handles it differently. Good amount of traffic, lunchtime on a weekday. Good amount of traffic. So those who don't want to see just empty roads and light traffic, this should be a good video for you. Other than that, I really can't change the traffic conditions. I can't change the roads. I can't do anything about that, but hopefully this will be challenging enough to keep your interest. Construction situation up here. Police are directing traffic. I will be prepared to take over as needed, but let's see if the car can follow at least the visual directions. I know it can't follow the hand signals. Let's just see what happens. Maybe there's some cones. I can guide it. Excellent, excellent job. And put on a signal for extra measure. Great job here. Look at that. Look at that. That's wonderful. That's amazing. Now there's no cones, and it still knows to get over. It still knows the signal. It still knows it's the end of this construction situation. Golf clap. Bravo, Tesla. Bravo. This is sticking out a little bit. Kind of tight. Didn't like that. A little too tight. That piece was sticking out. Didn't seem like the car had too much awareness of it. But it cleared it, so I guess that's okay. right, we have to make this left turn around this construction. Let's see if it can do it. See if we can follow the other cars, if nothing else. Yellow light, stops on it. So it doesn't visualize this barrier here, which obviously is concerning because you don't know if it actually sees it. I mean, we know it sees it if you have the confidence and you've been using it for a while. But if you're new to this, you don't know if it sees that without any visualization right here. So let's see how it takes this turn. Now there's no cars in front of it, so it has to kind of figure it out on its own. Going a little slow. Please don't cut it too close. No turn signal, but it's still good. All right. I like that. Did a great job handling that situation. Minus the turn signal. I will flag that for no turn signal, but, you know, that's nitpicking. Okay, coming up to the highway, you see it right there. You see the cars fast moving. This is where it gets kind of scary for me. It becomes really hard to see behind you. I have to turn my neck all the way around to see behind me, to see if there's an opening. So I'll be monitoring the situation from that perspective. But this gets a little awkward, and I want to just see if they added some improvements here. Still over the white line, but not as bad as before. See that? Still pretty good there, not completely over. Last time I was completely over the full time. And there's a car here who's also trying to inch up. I don't know what they're trying to do. They're looking behind them. They're backing up. All right, here we go. We're wide open. We can go. Let's just go for it. Get up to speed. Now, yeah, I know I'm looking. I'm looking. I had to turn my head all the way around, and obviously the cameras don't like that. All right, good job getting up to speed. Good job merging, finding the gap here. So that was much better than before. But, you know, I have to like look all the way behind me to really get good line of sight into what's going on and be sure that we can make it, or be able to stop it if I don't think we can make it. Auto offset is still on, so this is still version 12, so that negates my theory. So it's version 12 still as of now. So it wasn't version 11, so it was just a pure version 12 issue. Should slow down, getting really close to this car. And then it goes. Other cars are trying to merge. It has to go. So that's one of the reasons why I don't use assertive on camera on some of these drives, just because it gets a little too close. And I take over a lot when I use assertive off camera, because if it gets too close, I'm just taking over. I'll get us out this lane once we can. Okay, kind of just ignored me and said I don't want to get out this lane. Funny. Yeah, I was looking in my rear view mirror, and when it catches me looking, I get the red hands and apply steering wheel, the beep. When I'm just normally driving and the regular interval hits, I get the gray hands. So when it catches my eyes away, it just says apply slight force. And I'm not sure if that takes away the additional pay attention to the road, keep looking. Now we've jumped over to version 11. I'm not sure if that negates that sign, but I've not seen that sign in a while about pay attention. I've only seen the apply slight force with gray hands or red hands as of these last 11.3.4 and 11.3.5. Good job getting away from this person on the side of the road. Staying out of the rightmost lane was the message that was on the screen. That's a great safety maneuver for the person changing their tire in case something happens, they lose control of the tire, they themselves, go too far into the road, we avoid a situation. So that was the right thing to do. Changing lanes to get to a faster lane. Excellent job. Nice and smooth. So for those asking, I do get nags, as you see the system beeping at me. when I'm not looking directly at the road. So it does happen to me, as it does everybody else. Maybe it happens a little bit less frequently for me, but it happens nonetheless. So Tesla wants to be safe. They want to be extra careful based on the history of rolling this out or this technology out. So you're going to get those nags, you're going to get those warnings, you're going to have to pay attention to the road. You can't fall asleep, all that good stuff. But one of the things that Elon mentioned on the earnings call yesterday was that basically confirmed my theory that they want to get enough data. That's why they released that free trial. They want to get enough data of people successfully using FSD without incident, that they can use that to get regulatory approval for the proper autonomous designations for level 3, level 4, level 5, etc. But they need that data to be able to prove it. So that's why the free trials, that's why you get free trials as a referral incentive, or free months of FSD to have access to, because they want that data. And they have the best competitive advantage in gathering the data than anyone else, because they have all these millions of cars on the road. Lots of people having issues with tires today. I hope we do not join them. One of the other things I didn't get a chance to talk about on video, but I guess I'll chat about it really quickly here, is the Performance Model 3. How about that? Finally released it, 500 something horsepower. Qualifies for the tax credit. That's going to be incredible. Good job holding that turn. Incredible. We already talked about the Model 3, gave it a real review, compared it to the Model, compared it back to back with the Model S to see. Interested to get our hands on that one to see how the acceleration compares. And I'm glad that they're going with the insane designation for acceleration, even though the badge is more reminiscent to ludicrous. So interesting scenario there. But it looks like a really, really competitive vehicle in that regard. Let me just speed up a little bit here. Somebody's hot on my heels, and I need to get over soon. But it looks really good. I love the changes and distinction visually that they made from the regular version to the performance version. Really thought they should have did that for the Model S, just to create that differentiation there and distinction. It seems as though they Model S and Model X are supposed to be the flagship vehicles where you showcase your best technology. I've said for years, ever since they came up with the Model 3 is really their flagship vehicle, because of the sheer volume. They wound up putting some of the best things there, and because the people who are building it own it. I think that also plays into a factor. They wound up putting some of the best tech. They have adaptive suspension in the Model 3 Performance. They got a new generation drive unit as well. So it's interesting that they treat it that way, even though the price difference is so huge. Good control with that van there. Excellent control. Excellent control in the turn. We'll talk about it more once I get my hands on it and be able to test it out and drive it. But those are just my initial thoughts. Range seems decent. 300-mile range. I would love to know when they're going to start to put 4680 cells and have those 4680 cells live up to the proposed capacity and density that they were talking about when they first introduced the 4680 cells. I'd love to see some higher ranges, despite what Elon is saying about people not needing those ranges. All right, getting ready to get back onto the local roads, dense urban roads now. We're still on version 11, no auto offset is there. And once we come back on the road, we'll be back onto version 12, 12.3.5 specifically, and we'll get the auto offset back in there. Looking for an opening. Cars are braking. I'm prepared. Nice smooth slide in right here between the two cars. Very smooth. Loving it. And then we have to get off. Now, this is a similar way that we went to New York last time, and autopilot sort of had a bug and crashed on us when they had to make a certain maneuver to try to get into the tunnel. We're not actually going to take that same route fully, but we are going to go past it. So I'm not sure. Good job recognizing that. Bus trying to get over. Doesn't seem to want to get over anymore. Signals nicely here. Gets over. We're going to go down the same path, not the same route, but the same path. And I'm interested to see if autopilot fails again. Now, again, I say fail because it was like an error. It was a bug. It seemed like something happened and it crashed. It wasn't something that I did or didn't do. There's also a new UI coming out as well, which again is favored towards the Model 3 and Model Y, those that have the proper computers. And I feel bad for all the people saddened that their cars are now semi, quote unquote, obsolete. I didn't like that maneuver. I'm gonna flag that. Veered into the left lane incorrectly, needs to stay in the right lane. Need to stay in this lane, kind of veered over, didn't like that maneuver. Bad FSD. Yeah, but I feel bad for the people, sort of complaining, having issue with that reality. But that's the reality that Model S and X owners have been living for years as they watch the Model 3 and Model Y come out, take priority over software updates and features, and not be able to get those upgrades, especially those with the vertical screens. It's pretty bad, pretty tough, especially if you're an early adopter, especially if you've had multiple Teslas, especially if you've invested a lot by way of purchasing to help things out. It's painful. So not nice, but welcome to the club. That's what it feels like when Tesla it continuously improves things and innovates. And some cars get left behind from a hardware perspective. But I'm sure they'll catch you guys up. I'm sure they'll be able to get you guys either an upgrade to the hardware or whatever. Okay, here we go. Turn signal, a little indecisive. It makes it and commits. Here's where we crashed last time. Going past this point, it's coming to a pretty big slowdown here. Not sure why. Some accelerator pedal here. Something's funky going on here. Now it's boosting out with the acceleration. Something's funky going on right there. Tesla needs to take a look at. I'll flag it just so they can take a look at it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's map data or what, but something is weird there. All right, as we get into this New York-like area, urban area known as Hoboken, New Jersey, we got lots more potholes. So I will take over for potholes as they are plentiful in this area. It was a nice little avoidance of a little pothole there. On purpose or by accident, I'll take it. Cresting this bridge here nicely. Good slowdown on the return, descent of the hill. And then we're going to make a interesting left. These are sort of very congested lefts in this area where you have to kind of get in quickly where you can. Let's put FSD to the test and see how good it can do here. Not the most traffic, otherwise we'd be sitting standstill, but there is a good amount of traffic at lunchtime around these areas, so that's why I went lunchtime as opposed to rush hour, where the video would have been easily over an hour. A little bit of a merging arrow. It doesn't see. Okay. Oh, my word. It does follow it. Yes, very good. Right into the potholes. Avoid the pedestrians. Good job. All right, here comes the interesting left turn and then a quick right. Now, this is where FSD does a better job than even me with the yoke, being able to make a quick left and a right and be able to signal. That's pretty awesome. Would love eventually for the shortcoming of the yoke, being able to not make a left and then a right outside of having a steer by wire scenario, which wouldn't require you to have the yoke at that degree of angle. Would be a scenario where the system knows your destination even when you're driving and automatically puts that second turn signal on for you. That'd be kind of cool. A little feature request there, Elon and team, if you're listening. Just to be able to put that second one on. If your navigation dictates a quick left and a right, it puts that second signal on for you if you can't reach it, or if the steering wheel is at that awkward angle. Here we go. We got a quick window. We got to hurry up and get in. Make the turn. Good job. Now make the other turn. Good job. Go, go, go. Slow and methodical is okay. Now down these tight streets where cars kind of stick out. Get a good test of proximity. Great job there. Some kind of incident must have just happened. Sirens are blaring around us. Full stop. And then it goes. Oh, power line came down. Look at that. That's pretty gnarly. Hope nobody was hurt. Pedestrian there. A little bit of hesitation. That's okay. Parking is a nightmare in this area. So obviously cars are double parked, delivery trucks are double parked, but nothing FSD shouldn't be able to handle. Bit of an always stop here. Has to creep past this truck to see. It can't see to the right, so it's creeping up a little further. Now it can see and it goes. Great job. Lots of nags this trip. So for those asking, yes, I get the nags, but there's lots of them now. A little bit of an offset to the street because they made room for the bike lane. So this is not a stop, but there is an adjustment. This way has the stop, but good job slowing down just to be precautious. Excellent behavior so far. Excellent behavior. Minus that one gaff where I had to disengage because it kind of got squirrely in that lane. Did a pretty good job. We have the right of way, we can go. A little bit of a phantom brake. I'm not sure what that was. Maybe the car saw something I didn't. I'm okay with it. It didn't come to a complete stop, but a little bit of a phantom situation because nothing was in front of it. I've not seen much of any phantom braking in these version 12 builds, except for that one we just saw just now. Again, I don't know what that was what was the cause of that. So that's great. Phantom braking seems to be largely eliminated with version 12. All right, we have the right of way. It cannot see past there, but it's a one-way, so it should be good. I think it's seeing that bike symbol and thinking it's a speed bump. That's what I think is happening. Needs to recognize that this car is loading people up. Good job waiting, then squeezing through. Look at that. Look at that. Awesome. Scooters coming behind us. This just shows a person moving very fast. It's pretty funny. It visualizes it in the rearward camera, but the front camera just shows a person gliding down the street very fast. But I think those bike symbols in the middle of the lane is what threw it off. So maybe not a phantom brake. Maybe it's just reacting to those bike symbols, thinking they're speed bumps or trying to recognize what they are. Good job avoiding this pedestrian. We're clear to go straight through. Don't please stop, sir. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Just go. Let the pedestrian, the other car figure that out. A little close on this end for my taste, my feel in the car. If you see it, it's kind of biasing. It's turning red. Not the greatest. Should definitely, and that person just ran that stop sign. That was not great, but good job reacting, FSD. Good job reacting. Okay, let's see how it handles this scenario. It's kind of tight. I don't like that lower edge sticking out. Eesh, tight. They made it though. Good. All right, last turn before we're at our destination. Stop sign stops way short still, then creeps up. It's hard to see left and right. I'll do my best to try to convey what the situation is left and right. Cars coming from the left, pretty fast. No cars from the right. It can go. It can go. Go, 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 go. Good job. Go a little faster, please, because that car was coming. But it did it. Nice slow creep to a crawl stop, even with that cyclist cutting in front of us, not overreacting. That's excellent behavior. Pretty steep turn here. Good job. Ugh, good job. That was pretty impressive. It maintained the line. Some people will just cut the line when the turn is too short. It maintained the line. And then it can't go because this is a red turn arrow. Kind of thought about it. Still is clear of the crosswalk, which is great. But it did kind of think about it for a minute. Maybe still thinking about it. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. And the cyclists are there. All right, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to take this turn and this ticket. Autopilot proceeded on red turn arrow. Should not have proceeded. All right, and we're here. and our destination. All right, guys, let me know what you thought about that in the comments. Pretty long drive. For those that stuck with us to the very end, thank you. For those that are subscribed, also thank you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until the next time, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.